Hello again, welcome back inside the Tier 4 studio here in Morgantown, West Virginia. For the Charleston Daily Mail, I am Mike Casazza, and I am very genuine today when I say welcome back. We don't get together nearly enough for these occasions in the off-season, and while I did enjoy the first two from Dallas for Big 12 Media Days, it doesn't beat being back in the home digs here. So it feels good to be in front of the orange wall and between the surroundings to my right and left. So let's get back to business. Part 3 of our 2015 and 15 countdown, it attacks the big issue. The one question I am asked most often, is Dana Holgorsen on the hot seat? Controversially, let me say that the answer is not coming from me today for two reasons. One, that's not my job. I don't pretend to know the future and I don't try to predict it. What I do is explain and tell you when coaches are hired or fired or why, but I don't try to get them hired and fired. And frankly, who's the coach doesn't bother me, doesn't affect my job. Ideally, you get along with the person you have to call and critique and ask questions to, but if it doesn't, what does it really change? I'm not trying to be high and mighty, and maybe that's just going to gloss over what I say next because I don't know if he's on the hot seat right now. I don't care, but I also don't know. Those are important for me and hopefully for you in this conversation. What I do know is that you want an opinion, right? Well, I'm going to help you make your own opinion. You can hold it in your hand and run out of the end zone with it as we start this season. So Dana Holgorsen, as he begins his 5th year, is 28-23. Has a 10-win season, has a conference championship, has a BCS bowl win. But that was back in the Big East. This is the Big 12, and since joining the Big 12 for the 2012 season, West Virginia 7-6, 4-8, 7-6, 0-2 in bowl games, and has not competed for a Big 12 championship late in the season. Maybe last year, we'll get to that in a second, but certainly no trophies. What do we have then? You have a team that has been okay, not great, maybe not even very good, has not been what you wanted, and the wins and losses certainly turn up the heat on the seat. But I think you have to agree, last season at 7-6 was better than 4-8. The records obviously tell you that. And that's important too because it had to get better. 4-8, 2013 was the rock bottom for this program. And it was stunning too. Remember, at 5-0, walking out of Austin, Texas with a win over Texas and being number 5 in the country, you thought this was for real. Whatever misconceptions, whatever curiosities you might have had about 70-33 in the Orange Bowl, the start and the style of that 2012 season really rubbed them all away. And you thought Dana Holgorsen had something. Well, he's still that guy, but is he still that guy? Maybe not, maybe. Again, that's up to you. I'm going to help you arrive at one conclusion or the other. But 2-6 to end that 2012 season, 4-8 in 2013. It was so bad, the athletic director, Oliver Luck, put out a statement and said, you better get better. And it was better last season. How did it get better? The offense. He had a quarterback who could play, who started, who was pretty good at running the offense. In 2013, he had a collection of flawed parts. He had a pretty good guy in 2011 and 12, I grant you that. It wasn't nearly as good in 2013. This year, Skylar Howard has been the guy longer than Clint Trickett was at this stage. Last season, will he be as good? I don't know. Important, though, that he plays 12 games because West Virginia's offense last season sputtered. Not only when Trickett missed games, but toward the end when you could tell he wasn't healthy, wasn't who or what he had been early in the season. Most significantly, the biggest change from 2013 to 2014 was the defense. A strong point last season replacing a weak unit in 2012 and 2013. That was a major difference. So a better offense and a much better defense. You had 3 more wins. The truth is, if Jaden Obercrom shanks that one field goal at the end of the game, if he whips it off the right upright, if it just goes short, West Virginia has wins against Baylor and TCU, the teams that finished 1-2 or 1A and 1B, whatever you want to call it, in the standings. And you have to feel a lot better about a competitive team that Dana Holgorsen can field. Now, he didn't win that game, and he barely, if you will, won games against Texas Tech and Maryland, which weren't optimal competition, so it goes both ways. And again, depends on what you want. Was he close to one more big win? Was he close to 2 more costly losses? Up for you. But let's also look at the present too. The reputation has changed, the perception has changed. The defense is better, the offense, well, you don't know a lot of the players, but at this point, do you trust Holgorsen to sort of close your eyes and say, I think he could put together an offense? His reputation as a coordinator, as a head coach, putting players in the NFL, racking up big numbers, ranking in the top 5 of this and that, you probably say, all right, it's going to be pretty good, it might be prolific, it might be above average, but do you think he can do that, or do you wonder, where is the talent? Why haven't we had consistent replacements every year for these key skill positions? Again, up to you. What also isn't up to me or up to you is Shane Lyons. The first-year athletic director is obviously the big figure here. There is no first-year athletic director. There's no very good athletic director anywhere who doesn't have a short list in his pocket. And changes, whether it's in leadership or just structure of programs across his athletic department or her athletic department. So we don't know what Shane Lyons is thinking, but in truth, does Shane Lyons know what Shane Lyons is thinking? If the past affects the present, well, the improvement from 2013 to 2014 has to help, and that sets up a certain bar that Holgorsen must clear in 2015, but perhaps the way that he has reshaped the roster from when he first arrived in 2011 to where it is now and has his most veteran, most experienced team, and some pretty good cores in the freshman and sophomore classes, maybe that impresses Lyons. The truth is, we just don't know yet, and that's why the season unfolds. But we also know that's very important is the money. Two things about the money. It's always about the money, and if someone says it's not about the money, it's about the money. If you're going to make a leadership change at the end of the season, let's say it's an 0-12 season, it's really bad, and it just has to happen, it's going to cost about $7.3 million. You have to pay Dana Holgorsen for the final 2 years of his contracts. You also have a handful of assistants, not all of them, who are guaranteed second years of their 2-year contracts. So there's a price to pay. Heavy price tag and a heavy decision to make. Good thing is, I don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not up to us. We can talk about it. We don't have to live it. That's all for this time. We'll see you next time. I'm Mike Casazza for the Charleston Daily Mail.